Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Champ for teaching me how to study, and shout out to Fike for putting up with me.
Yeah, Mr. Champ, you're great. Thanks for preparing me for college, and I'm gonna miss all your little sayings that you always say.
Thank you, Mr. Champ, for motivating me and teaching me how to study and preparing me for college.
Same here. Literally, now I know how to study, so I'm going to be prepared for college. Also, shout out to Mr. Yingling, Miss Weems, Mr. DeFelice, and Miss Cope. You guys were awesome for senior year.
I want to thank Miss Thurston, even though I didn't have her senior year. She made the class very difficult, but adjusting to it is what made me learn how to study. I also want to thank Mr. Madar for being very passionate about his job. I was excited for his class every day. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Weibel because he always does so much for his students and staff to enjoy the food that he cooks and gets everyone excited to learn more.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mrs. Traeger. First of all, because elementary school would not be the same without you.
Even though you were pregnant both years that we had you.
We still had her.
Your substitute teachers were cool, so thank you for that.
Thank you. And
Mr. Wyclaw, obviously, thank you for getting us into golf.
Yeah, golf really shaped my high school career, so thank you a lot for golf.
Known you since second grade. Used to make fun of me a lot in elementary school. Really did wonders for my self-confidence. No, but thank you guys, you two. Huge influences on
probably the biggest
the men that we've become today.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
I just would like to thank Mr. Gerba for always motivating me and making me into the person I am today.
Thank you, Mr. West, for always being patient and making us look forward to come to class.
I want to thank Mr. Champ and Miss Weems for helping me through, especially my senior year. I want to thank Mr. Champ for giving me the tools to be able to study and feel confident when taking tests. It's helped a lot. And I want to thank Miss Weems for always having a smile on her face and always asking how my day was, and for just being really nice and supportive of me. And I just want to thank this whole school district for giving me so many opportunities.
I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Mazurik. You helped me tremendously throughout my senior year, and I feel like you prepped me well for my pre-vet biology classes in college.
I'd like to give a shout out to Mrs. Weems, Mrs. Milliron, and Mrs. Wyclaw for giving me a great high school experience. And one of my favorite high school experiences was definitely this year playing Judy in 9 to 5. It was one of the best things I have ever done. It was really good for me, and I really enjoyed it.
All right, I'd like to thank Mrs. Wilson for keeping me coding. Mr. Smith, aka OG Pi Squared, the best board gamer in the school. Appreciate having that club around. Mr. Raffo, keeping it political, poli-sci. Who else? Mr. Madar, always a cool guy. Miss Spiegel, Miss Weems, kept me reading. Nothing will put the fear of God into you like being late twice to Mr. DeFelice's on your first week of freshman year. That's about it.
You first?
Yeah, I want to thank Ms. Stravinsky for letting me paint the mural upstairs. It was really fun.
I don't know. I guess my favorite moment is meeting all my friends. I kind of met them all in the lunchroom. All one year, they just all came, sat down, and we're still friends since.
I think I'd probably have to thank Mr. Spang because he's new here this year, but he's been incredibly supportive and just super knowledgeable about everything. But as far as a favorite memory goes, I'm going to jump back to about middle school, and I was in another music class with Mr. Thomas. And at one point he brought in like this private teacher from outside, and I never had a private teacher or even really thought about it. And the guy was 99 years old, and he was still teaching, which is pretty wild, I think. But he called me up to the front of the class because I was asking him questions, and nobody else was asking him any questions. But I got up there, and he started teaching me about syncopation and telling me to use my foot, like tap it while I was playing music. And I'd never used my foot for music before, you know. Violins don't really require that, at least that's what I thought. And when I was done, he was pretty pleased. He said, "I bet you nobody else in this room could have done what you just did." And I started taking lessons with that guy, and I think it's at that point that me as a violinist, I really took off. It's probably my best memory right there.
First, I would like to thank Miss Wyclaw for
showing me my career path as a stage manager and helping me throughout all the years, which kind of leads to one of my favorite experiences at the high school, which is doing musical all 4 years. Another teacher I'd like to thank is Miss Weems, and also connecting would be Miss Beagle for all of their knowledge and guidance throughout the years that I've been here. I would also like to thank Miss Mallard for all of her help and support throughout the year. She has been there for me for the past 4 years, and I loved singing and being in her classroom. She made it really fun. I would like to thank Mr. Meyer for starting my career path towards stage management during our production of Grease, and for helping me find my love for singing.
I would like to thank Mr. Gerba. When I first came up to the high school, I was a part of the soccer team and I was pretty quiet, but before long I started to become more sarcastic and joke with Mr. Gerba and things, and I knew that he was always there for me. I could go talk to him or like spend time with him if I needed someone to talk to about life or school or whatever in the soccer team. And I knew that I wanted to take his class, and this year it has been a lot of fun. I'm going to really miss all of my soccer memories and just everything about that experience. I would like to thank Mr. Maurer. I remember in middle school being a part of the chorus, and I always loved to sing, but in 8th grade when he chose me to be the lead Sandy in Grease, it built my confidence so much, and I really changed after that. I became more outgoing, and I continued to do musical through all 4 years of high school, so I'd like to thank Mrs. Wyclaw for all of those musical experiences. It was probably the time of my life. I would like to thank my student government sponsors, first with Mrs. Vasco. I loved my beginning experiences in SGA when I had my brother as president, and then I took over for him, and you helped me through that first year to become a leader and learn how to run the meetings and make agendas and meet with Mr. Ralph and Dr. Rocco and things. And then Mrs. Spiegel, when you took over this year, you helped me to reach some of my goals and started the Pen Pal project with the students. We are starting to grow the club more, and I know it's going to continue on to do amazing things. Student government changed my life. I wanted to thank Mrs. Weems because this year in AP English 12 was my favorite class. I always waited to go there because it always would cheer me up, and we had such a small class. We had lots of fun times and good jokes about things. But also Mrs. Weems is such a nice person and always would help me if I needed anything for college, like writing essays or just helping to figure out what I want to do with my life, and just talking to her when I ever needed someone to help me figure something out. I would like to thank all of my math and science teachers, especially Mrs. Dykstra, Mrs. Galley, Mr. Simon, Mrs. Mazurek, and Mrs. Weibel, because they have encouraged my love of learning, especially in math and science, and have encouraged me to pursue a major in chemical engineering, and because of them I think I will be able to do great things.
I'd like to thank all the teachers that I've had throughout my years in high school, middle school, and elementary school. I will cherish all the memories that I've had with everyone.
So I'd just like to say thank you to all the teachers and the custodians and everyone that's involved in the school. I know it's not easy to keep track of so many different kids that don't always want to listen, but I'd like to thank you for your time, dedication, and really pushing us all to succeed.
I want to say thank you to all the teachers that I've had throughout all the years, and for all the great experiences and amazing job you did teaching me. Thank you.
We'd like to thank Mr. Francia, our golf coach, and our math teacher for getting us involved in golf and coming to Bills and Butlers and helping us with everything.
Kind of forcing us to come out for the team in some ways. But we'd also like to thank Mr. Yingling for coming in our senior years and making it memorable. It's something we're definitely not going to forget.
We would like to thank Ms. Galfari
for convincing us to join TFM and being a great sponsor,
for giving us the confidence to become better leaders,
and providing all the amazing opportunities and experiences that we got through the Future is Mine.
We'd like to thank Mr. Huber, aka Matt,
for all the laughs and great times and inside jokes.
for being a great Powder Puff coach,
and for helping us to build that connection between the school and community because we wanted to make a change in this district.
We would like to thank Mr. Brown.
He made physics really fun.
and for putting up with our sass and attitude on a daily basis.
We would like to thank Mr. Raffel for being a great history teacher and being part of our squad.
We had a lot of great times in study hall last year.
And I personally want to thank him for all the times he had his door open for me.
I haven't had any teachers I've disliked since I moved to EF. It was kind of a magical experience, actually, because sometimes I got stuck in these classes I didn't want to be in with teachers who didn't really understand me, but not when I moved here. Every teacher I've had has made their class a great experience for me. I've learned so much, and I just want to thank all of them because they've all been wonderful.
Hi, I just wanted to thank all the teachers who pushed me to do my best and always encouraged me to do stuff.
I think every teacher I've ever had has really been fantastic and motivational. I'd say specifically for senior year, Mrs. Weems, Miss Miller, and Miss George, since she was the first teacher I ever had when I came to EF. So, yeah, that's about it. Thanks again.
I haven't been here like the full 12 years, but every single teacher that I've had over here has been nothing but encouraging, and they try to push you to do your best, and they just inspired me to be the best that I can be. So thanks.
Yep.
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Popowitz and Miss Perry and Mr. Ralph, because without them I probably wouldn't have graduated and I wouldn't have made it to prom. And so I just want to say thank you. And also Mr. Huber, you still owe me a cookie cake, so don't think I forgot.
Unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time